All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up. Let's go over here to in here, and I'm going to open up our Pro Tools Lab 1. And first of all, I'm going to go into Safari. I'm going to go into Canvas here and just show you where this lives. Let's go in here and do this and load that up. And if you want to, there's two different places you can get to this, okay? You can get to it from modules. And in modules, just go down here to where the week 1 and go down to the bottom of week 1 and go to exercises labs and go into PT1 lab. Or you can go to it from assignments over here, click on assignments. And in assignments, remember in student view, remember to go show by type right here. And under here, it's going to be this assignment down here. And you'll notice that all of the assignments are in the order in which they happen in class. So I'm going to go in here to PT1 lab, and we go in here and we say, please download the PDF here. So I click on this, and it will. Oops, wait, hold on a second. We don't have to click that. Let's click instead of that one. Let's click. Click this one where it'll just download the file straight. And then here are the files you will use for today's exercise. PT1 lab. Just download that. Boop, and there you go. Okay, so. That's what we need to do, and then once we're done, we're going to upload it. So I'm going to show you that once it's time. So I'm going to go over here. I've got my PT1 lab here, and I'm going to, I didn't mean to open that up. Hold on a second. Close. I'm going to go to my, where is it? Boop, ba doop, ba doop. Exercises, mod 2 exercises. Here we go, PT1 lab. There it is, boom. Here's my PDF. Here's the lab zip. Here's the audio files. Okay, so we got all this stuff here. I'm going to open up my PDF. And it's just going to show me this PDF here. And we're going to go through this. I'm going to go through this together with you. So first of all, you're going to create a new Pro Tools session with the following settings. Why? Oh, that's because, okay, there we go. With the following settings. Wave, 24-bit, 44.1 stereo mix. And we're going to name it first name, last name, Anthony Grund or Tony Grund, Pro Tools 1, Lab 1. Okay, so we go back to Pro Tools. And here I'm going to make a new session, Command N. For a new session if you don't have anything set up. And I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to local storage. I'm going to call this one Tony_Grund_PT1 lab. Or sorry, PT lab 1. Like that. Okay, or Pro Tools, if you want to spell it out, you can. You don't have to spell it out. We're good with that. But PT1 Lab 1 or PT Lab 1, something just to tell me what it is and something to tell me what your name is, okay? So we got that. We're going to set these settings up right here. Wave file 44.1 stereo mix, not last used. 24-bit interleaved, yes. And we can say prompt for location is fine. It's going to ask me where do I want to save it. So I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to go ahead and just save it in the same place under Pro Tools Projects. Shakai, what's up? Shakai, you already signed in earlier today. You don't need to sign in again. Okay, there we go. Boom. I'm just gonna go ahead and put one more thing here. Oh wait, A1. There we go. So I know when I'm doing this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the beginning so I just know. Easy. Boom. There we go. Okay, cool. So, why is everybody signing in again? Joel, we already talked about this. Also, please understand, I can't actually see if you sign out and sign back. Like if your computer crashes or your phone logs you off of Twitch or something like that, it doesn't give me a warning that you're not online anymore. So that's good and bad, I guess. It's good if you don't want to sit here and watch the videos because you can just go do other stuff. But it's bad if you do that because you're doing other stuff and you're not learning. So up to you if you want to learn or not. I suggest you learn. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff. I'm going to make this a little bit like this. I'm going to grab the preview. I'm just going to tuck the preview over here on the side like that. And I'm just going to put Pro Tools here like this. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You could actually bounce back and forth between Pro Tools using Command Tab. It's different on the Windows machine. I don't know what it is on Windows. But here's this. I'm just going to move this over like this. There we go. Boom. Okay, but I have a big screen here, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep both of them on my screen at the same time. So here's what we're going to do, okay? So we go down here. Let's go to page 2 here. Boom. And we're going to create this number of tracks. Number 3 over here says create this number of tracks. we're going to create 3 stereo audio tracks, 4 mono audio tracks, 2 stereo aux inputs, and 1 stereo master fader. So let's go ahead and create these. Going to create, well, let me see here, stereo. So here's the shortcuts for this, and let's open up the notes to show you this as well. The notes for the shortcuts. Here we go. Creating a new track. Command Shift N gets you the new track window. And then hold down Command and use your left and right arrows to do mono or stereo. Hold down Command and go up and down areas to do track type. Command Shift will add or subtract new tracks, just up and down areas. Adjust the number of tracks, and then Tab or Shift Tab moves between your tracks. Tab goes forward, Shift Tab goes backwards, okay? So that's how this works. So I go in here, I go Command Shift in, and I hold down my Command key and I go left and right, and see what that does? That's going between my stereo and mono. So Command left and right is stereo mono. Command up and down goes through my different track types. So I'm holding down my Command key here. Let me show you. I'm holding down my Command key. Let's see how I can, I don't know how to do this easily. I'm holding down my Command key and I use my arrow keys over here, and it goes through my different track types. Or I go left and right and it goes mono versus stereo. And if I go Command Shift, up and down arrows, it's hard to hold the keyboard, it's going to let me add or subtract more tracks, okay? So this is really cool because it allows you to create tracks without actually using your mouse. It just makes things much, much faster. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to, let's see, Command, let's see, what did it say? 3 stereo, was it 3 stereo? 3 stereo, 4 mono, 2 stereo, and 1 stereo. Okay, cool. So 3 stereo, and these are going to be audio tracks. 3 stereo audio tracks, 4 mono audio tracks. Let's see here, 2 stereo aux tracks, and then 1 stereo master fader. And all these, I'm just going to change all these to samples so we don't get confused, although it doesn't really matter right now. I'm just going to change these all to samples. They're samples for you by default. They are samples for you by default. So I've got these here. I'm going to hit create, boom, and now we can see on my screen it just created all those tracks. Yay, give us all these tracks, okay? So Lewis says, I'm looking at the PDF and it says we have to import files as instructed by instructor. What files? The files I already told you about. I just told you about the files. These, but also hold off on questions until I get to it, because if you had waited about 2 minutes, I would have answered that question. So hold off on questions until I get to it. If I get to the end and I haven't answered your question or whatever, then ask me the question. But I'm literally about to tell you the answer to that question. So we can see here's all my audio files, and we can see these ones are stereo because they got 2 little lines and stuff like that. These ones are mono because they're 1. These ones here, these aux channels are stereo as well, and the master fader is stereo. So we can see all that stuff there. Cool. So we got that. Now, open the import window and navigate to the folder of audio files that your instructor provided. See, we're already here. See, look at that. Look at that. Okay, import all the audio files with the copy method. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these files, the ones that you download from here, right here, these ones here that says PT1 Lab zip. When you unzip it, it's going to have these audio files in there. That's what they're going to be. So they're right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and I'm going to say, what was it? Command Shift I to import my audio files. And it's going to pop up right here. I'm going to highlight all of these. Now, highlight a bunch of stuff is going to be used using Shift. So I click on the first one, I hold down Shift, and I click on the last one. Now, couple things. If I go through all of these and I click on them, it's going to tell me information about them down here. Check this out. This is pretty dope. I'm going to put down the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go over like this. So this first one here, we can see it's a WAV file. It's 16-bit. Length is 10 seconds. Sample rate is 44.1. Size is 930. Channels equals 1. Somebody, I'm going to go ahead, but somebody please answer me. Channels equals 1. Is that mono or stereo? One channel is it mono or stereo? Okay. If we go to the next one, the breakbeat, again, same stuff. WAV file, a 16-bit. It is mono. Yes. Very good, y'all. Very good. One channel is mono. 2 channels, like this drum loop here, is stereo, okay? So mono versus stereo here. That's very, very important. So over here, these are all mono. We can see they're all basically the same size. There may be a little bit of difference, but not much. And then we go down here, and these ones here are stereo. We can see they're double the size because it's 2 channels instead of 1. It's going to be double the size. So all this stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down, I'm going to click on the first one, I'm going to hold shift and click the last one. It's going to highlight all of them. It no longer gives us any information. Actually, let me just select one more thing. Each one, see this here, it says this wave file can be added directly to the current session. Usually it'll say something like that, or it'll say it can be copied in or it can be converted or something like that. Okay. So I'm going to hold down shift, click all these. They're all highlighted over here. I'm going to go to, what did it say? It said import all of the files with the copy method. Okay, import all the files with the copy method. I'm going to use copy all. Boom. Now, the difference between add and copy. Add adds the files to your session, but it does not copy them into your audio files folder. Copy will copy them into the audio files folder. Copy is safer. If I know for a fact I'm definitely going to use these files, then please use copy. You definitely want to use copy, not add. Okay, anyway, so we've done that. They're all over here. I'm going to hit open. Once I hit open, it's going to say choose a destination folder. This folder is always going to be your audio files folders within that Pro Tools session folder. So if you want to put your files somewhere different, then change this. Otherwise, just hit enter. You don't even have to click the open button. Watch this. It's a good idea to get in the habit of using your keyboard whenever possible. So right now, I don't have to move my mouse down here and click it. I can just go open, boop, and it opens it. Now, it asks me a question. If we go back over to our notes, down here, part B, it's going to ask if you want to create new tracks for the files or place them in the clips list. For this exercise, we are going to place them in the clip list. Usually, I would just add them into the session because when I do that, it's going to bring them into the session and it's going to name the track for me, all this good stuff. But for this exercise, please add them to the clip list because I want to show you how they work. So I hit OK, boom, here they are, clips. There we go. And now let's take a look at these. First of all, they're all bold. Bold files, bold names means that is the actual audio file on your computer. What does that even mean? I'm going to tell you later. We're going to come back to that. But just remember, bold is the audio file on the computer. Next, we're going to see that some of these do not say anything and some of them stay stereo. What do you think the ones that do not say anything, why does it not say anything? And how are they? Are they stereo or are they mono? If they don't say anything, are they stereo or are they mono? Another thing is the ones that say stereo have this little triangle. This little triangle is a drop-down menu. So if I click on this, it's going to show me a .L and .R. Okay? So what this is telling me is that this is a stereo file and this one here is a mono file. Now, here's something about Pro Tools that's really, 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 really important. Yes, absolutely. AJ, thank you. Ones that don't say anything are mono. Great. Now, here's something that's really important. You can only put the audio files onto the track that has the same number of channels. Let me say that again in slow motion. You can only put the audio file onto the track that has the same number of channels. Okay, good. Slow motion. Yeah, good slow motion, Tony. Yeah, okay, cool. So that means that if I have an audio track that is stereo, like this first one here, and I try to drag on the bass file, which is mono, nothing happens. This is like all the time I get questions about this. I'm hoping that, thank you. I'm hoping that by putting a special effect on my whole being will help you to remember this. We want to make sure that stereo files go on stereo tracks and mono files go on mono tracks. So if I go over here and I have this mono clip, this mono audio file, I'm going to put it onto a mono track like this. This one, audio 4, is mono. How do I know it's mono? Because it only has 1 meter and one little thing over here, right? But the stereo files can go on the stereo tracks like this. Boom. It's got 2 meters. It's got 2 pans. It's got 2 lines. We're good to go. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to delete these. We're going to come back to that. But that's the short answer there. Now, you see me making these bigger and smaller. Let me just show you that real quick. I click on this little part here. It pulls up a little thing like this. Boom. If I want to do it to all the tracks at once, I hold down my Option key on a Windows machine that is called Alt. On a Mac, it's also got the Alt, but we call it Option. Here, boom, make it small, make it big, make it clap. There we go, boom, 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 like that. There we go, right? So I can make it big, small, whatever I want to do, okay? So let's go over here. Let's see what happens. So it says number 5, if the clip list is not already open, open it. The opening for the clip list is right down here on the bottom. Click on this little button here. I hope you can see it on my screen. This little button here. It's like a line with an arrow pointing at it. Okay. So I click on this little button down here on the bottom. Yeah, you can see it on my screen. Yeah, you can. Click on that. It shows me my clips list. There we go. Boom. Let's go to the next page of the notes. It says drag the 3 stereo files to the 3 stereo tracks and the 4 mono files to the 4 mono tracks starting at 11000. Now, hold on. Let's see. Let me show you a secret to this that's not actually in the notes here, the instructions. This is a really cool secret, and it's talking about our edit modes up here. So let's go look at our notes real quick. Let's go over here. Boop, 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 boop. Edit modes. Here we go. We have 4 edit modes in Pro Tools. We've got shuffle, slip, spot, and grid. Shuffle allows you to move clips together so there's no space between them. Slip allows you to move the clips freely around. Spot puts the clips exactly on a location. It opens up a dialog and you can put the time in. And then grid locks the clips movement to a grid. There's 2 grid modes. There's absolute and there's relative. Okay, so that's how those work. That's those in a nutshell. So what does this work? So what we should do is when you're dragging these in, here's a trick for you, is to put stuff in shuffle mode. Up here in the upper left-hand corner is your modes. Shuffle mode right there. Boom. It is also F1, F2, F3, F4. I can switch between these using my function keys. Now, this reminds me though, if you are on a Mac computer, your function keys are set up for different things. There's little pictures that are on there. See these little pictures that are on here? These little pictures right there, these little ones here. That's what the Mac operating system wants you to use. I'm telling you right now, you need to change it, but we need to talk about that. We need to actually set that up and change it. So let's just take a second to change that real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my System Preferences under the Apple menu. I'm going to go to System Preferences. And I'm going to go into my keyboard right here, Keyboard. So I went to System Preferences. I went to my keyboard. In here, we're going to change this to use F1, F2, etc. keys as standard function keys. Change that. Click that to be on. You want that to be on. Now, this is going to be confusing for you a little bit. If you use, let me go back to my function keys right here. If I'm using my function keys for like volume levels and stuff like that, now I'm going to have to hold down the FN key to make that happen. So if I hold down FN, what's my volume key? Is over here on the end, okay? So if I hold down my FN key, I hold that down. Now I can use my volume up and down like that. It'll do my volume up and down. But if I just hit the F12 and F11 keys here, it's not going to do volume up and down. It's going to do whatever's in that application. So in Pro Tools, F12 is record. It's one of your record buttons. F11 is, I think, nothing actually. So because you're turning your computer into a professional machine. Remember, we talked about that the other day. This is no longer a machine for just sending cat videos to grandma. This is a professional machine. So you want to change the setup of your machine. So F1, F2 keys as standard function keys when this option is selected. Press the Fn key to use the special features printed on each key. Boom, there we go. Now, a couple of other things you may want to change is if you go into shortcuts and go to Spotlight, you might want to turn off your Spotlight features because Command Space is also record on Pro Tools. I actually don't use it for recording, so I'm actually going to put it up here and leave it on for Spotlight. You could use F12 for that, so you could leave that on if you want. It's up to you how you want to do it. There's some other stuff that we could change at some point, but those are the big important ones. So one more time, let me just do that one more time. Go up to here to Apple, System Preferences, go to Keyboard, use F1, F2 keys as standard function keys, click that button, and you should be good to go. Now, if you're on a MacBook Pro or a laptop, then like a laptop that does not have the hard function keys, if it's got like the little touch bar, there's another one you have to do to make it be the touch bar thing. I am not a huge I'm not a fan of those computers. I don't have one, so I actually don't remember what it says there. So I'm not going to be able to tell you what it says, but so sorry. I can't help you with that part, but okay. Anyway, moving on back into the lab. Okay, so now we've got this in function shuffle mode. I can go through with my function keys here. There we go. Boom. So I put it in shuffle mode. I'm going to grab my ones that are the stereo ones. I'm going to hold down Command to select individual ones. If you want to select individual ones, hold down Command and click, Command and click. I'm going to unzoom, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to drag them in here. When I drag them in, you can see there's like a yellow line over here. This yellow line means that my clips, when I let go, are just going to be over here on the left. That's what the yellow line means, okay? Because I'm in shuffle mode. All right. Oh, interesting. There we go. Cool. Okay. So put it back in shuffle mode. Now we're going to grab our mono clips and we're going to drag them in. I'm going to do them one at a time so we can just see what happens. So if I have this in slip mode, I drag it in. See, I can just slide it around and I can drop it wherever I want like that. But if I'm in shuffle mode, it's only going to let me move it to the end over here. Boom. It's like going to snap to the end. Okay. If I take this breakbeat and I drag it in, it's going to automatically put it right here on this one. I don't want it to be there. I want it to be down here. And my effects loop down here, boom. And then my guitar loop over here, boom. There we go. So now everything is on my screen. I'm going to zoom in because you can see everything was pretty far zoomed out. Let's just take a look at that. I'm going to close this down because I don't need to see my clips right now. I also don't need to see my, I don't think. Why are you pinwheeling? Okay, stop pinwheeling. Okay, so I don't think I need to see these names, although maybe I should see them. Yeah, I should probably see them. Hold on. Let me just make a couple changes here. View, clip view, turn on my clip name. There we go. Boom. And also I want to turn on my clip gain. Now, this is something you probably don't need to do. The reason why I have to do it is I think it's because of my because I've got an M1 chip and it's like Pro Tools does some weird stuff sometimes with it. All right, so in here, what I want to do is I want to go through and I'm going to rename. Wait, hold on. Let's stick to the script. Let's stick to the script. I'm not sticking to the script. Hold on a second. Next one is, okay, good. Yeah, we're in the good place here. Okay, so the next one is I'm going to rename these. So what I'm going to do is we can see I've got the name in here. See the name of each clip? The clip name is right here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Well, what this allows me to do is allows me to see what I should name the track. If you don't see this for whatever reason, go up here to View and go to Clip and go to Name, like this right here. Go to Clip, Name, and make sure you have that set turned on because you want to have that turned on. I don't need to have the sync point turned on. I think. I don't know. I don't in the processing state. Like I don't even know what that is. Transparency is pretty cool, I guess. Okay. Anyway, so now we should be able to see our names, and I'm going to go over here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better, and I'm going to go ahead and double click on the track name in order to rename it. Okay. So I'm going to name the first one Drum Loop. Drum loop. Boom. I always use abbreviations wherever possible, and I recommend that you start using abbreviations as well, because there's not a whole lot of like real estate here for names. So Pro Tools is going to abbreviate for you anyway, so I abbreviate myself. Once I'm happy with the name, check this out. I don't have to hit OK. If I want to name something else, what I do is I click Next or Previous, and it takes me to the next one. So I look here, it says EP Loop. Stands for electric piano. EP Loop, abbreviate loop to LP. Drums, abbreviate to DR. Now, a shortcut for this is Command left and right arrow key. Command right arrow key or up and down arrow keys. Same thing. So the next one here is audio 3. That is percussion 1. So I'm going to just call it perc 1. Next one here is bass. Next one here is breakbeat. Like that. Cool. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit, double click. This is my FX loop abbreviated. And this one here is my guitar loop. Again, guitar loop abbreviated. Boom. There we go. So now I've got all the names, and we can see if we're paying attention that the names of the tracks are also changed over here in my track show hide list. There we go. Boom. They're also changed over there. So what I want to do is I've got the name of the tracks. I'm going to change my tempo to 90 BPM. So there's a couple of ways to do this. One, I can make sure I'm all the way back at the beginning by hitting return a couple times. Go up here, I click the plus button, and it's going to give me a little BPM option. I can hit 90 right there. Boom, I can do that. Let me do that again. I'm going to click the plus button. I'm going to change it to 120. I'm going to change this in a different way. I'm going to go to my window, and under window, I'm going to go to transport. There we go, transport. And now I'm going to go in here to transport. Wait, whoa. Calm down. Everybody just chill. And I'm going to go in here to where it says tempo. And the tempo, I'm going to change that. Click on it and change it to 90. So that's another place where you can change your setup and your tempo and stuff like that. And you just gotta have you gotta have this window open. All right, let's go to the next thing. Whoa. What's that, T? What's up? T is like, hold on a second. Whoa. Or are you saying woo? Like party time? Which is it, T? Which is it? Are you saying whoa? Or are you saying woo? Oh, it's funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, what I said. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very serious, T. I'm very serious. All right. So, where was I? Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to change your edit tool to the smart tool. Now, here's our different tools. Let's just take a look at these different tools and what we can do with these. I'm going to make this one bigger. I already showed you how to do that. I don't want to see that. There we go. And let's just make this one nice and big here. And I'm going to keep it in slip mode. I'm going to put my edit mode into slip mode here. I'm going to move it over here a little bit. We're going to use the other modes here in just a second. But I just want to show you how these different tools work. This first tool is our trim tool. And what that means is I click and I can drag left and right to edit the audio. Now, I should tell you right now, if you don't already know, that this is non-destructive editing, meaning that anything I'm doing in the edit window here is not affecting my original audio file. It's only affecting this clip. So I can actually do all this stuff to this clip, but it's not going to actually affect my original audio. The original audio is safe. So even though I just chopped my clip up, it can be undone. Yeah. So I can grab it and drag it back out. And I can drag it back out. We can only drag things to the length of the original audio file. So this one here, I'm trying to drag it left. It will not drag anymore. If I want to drag it right, I can do it, but to the left, it does not do it. The problem is, but the thing is that there's no extra audio. If I didn't record more audio, there's not extra audio to mess around with. So that's the trim tool there. The trim tool changes the left and right areas of your clip. If I go to the next tool over here, and these are also my function keys, F6, F7, and F8. F6, F7 here is my trim tool. and I can highlight stuff. And once I've trimmed it, sorry, not my trim tool. Sorry, did I say trim tool? My selector tool. My selector tool, once I've got it here, I select something, I can now delete it using the delete key, or I can copy it using copy, and I can click over here and paste it back in, stuff like that. So that's how that's set up. And then my grabber tool, F8, allows me to grab things and move it around. It's as simple as that. That's what the grabber tool allows me to do. All right, so that's our different tools. If you are wondering about this and you're like, whoa, that's a lot of tools to remember, they're all written down right here. This is why I like Pro Tools. Yeah, this is why I like Pro Tools as well. I will say that all the other DAWs, they also work the same way, but mostly Logic is strangely destructive sometimes. Ableton Live is really, really good, but Pro Tools for just editing audio is actually the best one. It's the easiest one. It's the best one. It works the most intuitively, and it's non-destructive. It's like you would have to try to destroy things using Pro Tools. With Logic, you can actually make a mistake and kind of destroy things by accident, or it keeps popping up a window that's kind of annoying. So that's like, I like Logic does all the same stuff that Pro Tools does for the most part. Ableton Live does not do everything Pro Tools does. There's some things that Pro Tools does that Ableton Live just doesn't do at all. But for the most part, Pro Tools does for the most part, they all do everything. But you're getting a clue to get today. Yeah. Awesome. Great. So Pro Tools here, F6, F7, and F8 are your three different tools: trim, selector, and grabber. So the trim adjusts the start or end points of a clip. That's this one here. If I select my trim tool, F6, it adjusts the start point here, like this, boom, like that, okay? If I select my selector tool, selects or highlights portions of the track. So my selector tool right there, boom, 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 like that, boom, and I can delete it, I can whatever I want. You can also grab it and move it around later on. And then grabber tool grabs and moves clips or MIDI notes. So if I select my grabber tool, F8, and I just grab it and move it around, okay? My recommendation is that you learn how to use these shortcuts and you get good at the shortcuts, okay? That's my recommendation for this stuff. Now, there is another tool that they use. They call it a separate tool. It's not a separate tool. It's just all three of those tools combined together. One tool to rule them all. It's this one here, the Smart tool. Click on this one up here or hit any two of these buttons together, F6, F7, or F8. And now, depending on where I am on the track, it's going to, you can also automate. Yeah, you can automate. And we also do MIDI stuff with these tools. The tools are used for everything, not just clips. The clips is just the first thing we're going to use them for. So now, depending on where I am on the clip, it's going to change my tool. Okay? So check this out. If I'm at the middle top half, the half is this halfway line right here. Middle top half is my selector tool. Middle bottom half is my grabber tool. Left middle is my trim tool. Right middle is my trim tool. Upper right is my fade tool. Upper left is my fade tool. And then if it looks like a square, like hold on, like this, that's a crossfade as well. Sorry, not that one. Wait, hold on, wait. If it looks like a square, like, hold on. If I have another clip here, boop, 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 like that, like this. If I go down the middle, it's a crossfade. See that crossfade there? So up top is a fade, but down at the bottom, if I have two clips next to each other, it's a crossfade. Okay. So that's all the stuff we can do with this. It takes a while to get used to it, but once you get used to it, it's super, super easy to use. The other DAWs work like this as well, so it's the same type of thing. All right, so we've got our tools here. We'll talk more about the tools as we go. But these are the main basic points of the tools that you really want to kind of just learn. The layout here, I've got like a little beef cut looking thing here. That's the layout of everything, and this shows you where it's like a road map. Okay, just like a beef cut shows you the different parts of the meat. This one here is a road map that's got the top part is the selector tool, the bottom part is the grabber tool, left is the trim tool, right is the trim tool, fade in, fade out, crossfade. Okay, so you can see where to do. My advice is always, always, always use your smart tool. Okay, so I got these in here. Let's see, what's the next step? After you name your files, so we got 90 BPMs. Yes, good. What are we? Oh, we're using the smart tool. Okay, and it just kind of shows you, step 9 just shows you the smart tool a little bit. So now, step 10. Click on the first clip with the grabber tool and using the smart tool and then holding shift. Click on the rest of the clips until they are all selected. So I'm going to highlight this first one. I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to hold down shift. Whoops. I'm going to go down the line and click on each one individually. I forgot Pro Tools doesn't work like that. I tried to hold down shift and select all of them. That's like Logic and Ableton Live both work like that. Pro Tools does not work like that. So don't try to do that. Now change your grid mode to grid. Change to grid mode, which is over here on the left. Make sure it's the blue grid mode, which is absolute. Grid mode is set to grid. And what this is going to do is it's going to let me move my clips around, but it's going to snap them to the grid. So let's just go over those 3 types of grids we had so far. First of all, shuffle mode. We're not going to see any difference with shuffle mode because it won't let us move them at all. Slip mode is going to be sliding things around. And then grid mode, our last one here, is going to be moving them according to those blue lines. Make sure that the blue lines are set to 1 bar. That's your grid right up here. Grid set to 1 bar. Boom. There we go. Bippity boppity. We're good to go. Okay, cool. Now, it says step number 12. Hold Option to copy and click and drag the clips to start at bar 5. Then hit Command D on a Windows machine. What is it? And then hit Command D twice so that your entire length is 16 bars. So I've got all these like this. I'm going to hold down Option to drag these over. See what happens when I hold Option? It's going to drag them over like that. If I let go of Option, in Pro Tools, it keeps the Option held down for you. So I let go, boom. If I don't hold Option, it's just going to move them around. I'm not holding Option. No tricks up my sleeve, right? But if I hold Option, I can move them over, and there we go. It goes up to bar 9. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command D. They're all still highlighted. I'm going to hit Command D. Boom, boom, 2 times. So now this whole thing is 16 bars long. If I use my selector tool to click and highlight this whole first part, we can see up here in the top, it tells me the start of my selection is bar 1, the end of my selection is bar 17. So that part that's selected in the middle is 16 bars of awesome selection. Okay, so there we go. So now I've got all this stuff set up here. I've got 16 bars of my beat. Okay, number 13 here. Click on the first 4 bars of the drum loop. That's this one right here. If they're all highlighted like this, I'm going to have to not use my grabber tool, but I'm going to have to use my selector tool. So just mouse around until you see the selector tool. An important part to note right here is that make sure you go slow with this stuff, because if you go too fast, you're just going to get frustrated because you're going to be moving your mouse around the screen. It's going to be all crazy. It's going to get crazy fast. So the first one here is delete the first 4 bars of the drum loop. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hit delete. Boom. Okay. Also delete, I'm right here. Also delete the first 4 bars of the percussion, breakbeat, bass, and effects loop. So percussion, bass, breakbeat, and effects loop. So now the first part of the song just looks like this. Now place your cursor at bar 3 of the guitar loop using the selector tool. So I'm going to go in here to my guitar loop and place it at bar 3. When in doubt, I look up at the top. It says bar 3. My start and end points say bar 3. I'm going to click that right there and hold shift and hit return. And it's going to select everything to the beginning. So if I hold down my shift key, if I hit return, it's going to highlight back to the beginning of the track. Basically, when you're stopped, your track, if you hit return, it's going to go back to the beginning of your track. So if I hold shift, it's going to highlight everything back to the beginning of my track. And now what we're going to do is we are going to hit delete. So hit this, boom, delete. Now we've got nothing but these second 2 bars of our guitar. There we go, cool. Now on the bass part, and this one's a little bit tricky because people always do this kind of wrong. Select from bar 5 to bar 8 on the bass clip. So bar 5 to the beginning of bar 8. This right here. Do not select this part here. So we're going to go to the bass. We're going to click and we're going to drag over until it says bar 8 right here. So link start point is 5, end point is 8. There we go. Now we're going to create a fade. Hit Command F on a Windows machine. What is it called? And now we can use different curve types to change the curve. Like that. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna put a pretty drastic curve in here. And let's do this. Boop. I'm gonna hit OK. And we can see it put a curve on here. Let's actually move this. I actually don't want this to be like this. So I can actually, there's another way I can do curves. The other way I can do curves is if I go and I go in here and I just click and drag my curve. Oh, it's not going to let me change it because of, okay. So if I want to change another way, I can just click on the curve itself. I can click on it and I can hit delete. There we go. And let's do that again. Let's put another curve in here. Hit Command F. And I'm going to change that curve. Just a regular curve is fine. Boom. Whoops, wait, did I do that wrong? Hold on a second. Command F. Oh, I did do it wrong. Like that. There's a nice curve. So it's a little bit of a curve, but it's not a whole lot. And it won't let me change it because I'm doing it within the Command F. So now if I listen to this bass line, we're going to hear it fade up. Here's the first two bars with no bass, or the first 4 bars with no bass. Cool. You can see there's a lot of pop on the beginning of this. Maybe I want to kind of get rid of a little bit of that pop. It's a little bit too much pop for me. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we do all that, we're going to use the fade tool. Actually, let's change that fade. I can double click it to change the fade. There we go. Let's change it to that kind of a fade. Cool. And let's go over to, let's see, you're using the fade smart tool, place it towards the upper right of clip, create a fade out on the drums from bar 13 to bar 17. So I'm going to go over to my drum loop over here, bar 13 to bar 17. I'm just going to click, I'm going to move it over until it becomes a fade. I'm going to click and drag it over, bar 13 to bar 17. I'm going to leave the first beat alone, first like drum hit alone. And there we go. Let's see, repeat that fade out on the percussion, bass, breakbeat, and guitar loop so that all the sounds fade out at the same time. So percussion, bass, breakbeat. I'm holding down my command key in order to make, hey, what happened? Why didn't you want to fade? Oh, you probably got caught somewhere. Okay. It's okay. What was I going to say? I'm holding down command so it puts it in slip mode. I don't have to use that though. I can just go ahead and put it in slip mode using F2. And percussion bass breakbeat. Yep, breakbeat. And there we go. And effects loop. Did it say anything about guitar? Oh yeah, guitar. Yeah. Cool. But it did not say anything about the electric piano. I think the electric piano got rid of. Okay. Now it says, oh yeah, piano clip. Here we go, piano clip. So it says, number 17, on the piano clip, using the selector tool, select bars 9 to 10 on the piano clip. So over here, let's go to 9 and 10. Here we go. Boom. Let me put my things back into grid mode so we get things exactly. There we go. There's my piano. There's my thing. Oh, 9 and 10. Sorry, 9 and 10. Just this one here. 9 and 10 like that. And now hit Command C to copy it. and then put my cursor right here at bar 10 and then paste it and then hit Command D to duplicate it a couple times. Copy and paste, Command C, Command V, duplicate, Command D on every program, even Windows machines. Now 18, select from bar 5 to 13 with a selector tool. And we're going to loop it. Bar 5 to bar 13. Selector tool, Command Shift L. So we're in loop playback mode. And now we're just going to play this part repeated. I'm going to turn everything down a little bit. I'm going to turn everything down. Let's go to our mix window here. I'm just going to turn everything down by about like -5 or so. Let's not solve that one anymore. Everything's going to come down by -5. There is an easier way to do it, but we're not going to talk about it right now. There we go. Ah, it's super loud. Sorry about that, y'all. Oof, sorry. That was super loud for me, too. Why are y'all so loud? Turn y'all down more. Who recorded this so loud? Setup, options, pre-faded off. Okay, so over here, sorry about that. That was also loud for me. Turn our master down. That's the thing I hate about doing. That's what I've always hated about doing this stuff online, because you never know how loud things are going to be. Hopefully it wasn't as loud for me as you as it was for me. Alright, cool. That's a manageable level. Okay, so I just turned things down a bunch. And we're still pretty loud on the output over here, but that's okay. We're going to actually do a quick little mix of this. And we're going to use this here. Let's see here. Loop. Okay, cool. So we're going to loop this section, and we're going to go to... we got that section looped. Let's just make sure we're good. Okay, we're good here. We're going to loop this section because everything's playing, and we're going to go and we're going to do a rough mix of it. Okay, so we're going to go back to our mix window here, and we're going to do like a rough mix. And I just don't want everything to be clipping, okay? So I don't really care like how whoops, whoa. I don't really care what like how your mix sounds, because you're not going to actually submit a recording of this. But I do want to see that you've worked on the mix. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this audio 8 track here by clicking on it, right click and go to delete, because there's nothing in that track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just mute these. And I'm also going to put these in the right order, because the order is a little bit wrong right now. Always start with your bass and your drums. So I'm going to do my drums always first, and then the break beat here. And here's how you change the order of stuff: is you just click it and drag it. It's actually super easy. I'm going to grab my effects loop and put it over here as well. I'm going to put my bass next to my drums. I'm going to put my guitar next to my bass. And now I've got my electric piano here. If you want to do this, you can. It's not part of the requirements, but I would recommend it. So I got my drums here. There we go. And I'm going to take my drums. I'm going to get my bass up over here. Cool. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more, because you really want this to be hitting. I'm going to turn my level down on... Cool. All right. I'm also going to... The bass is fading up, so I'm actually only going to do these bars right here. Cool. Turn the level down out to y'all, so it's not clipping, so it's not too loud. Let me know if that sounds pretty good. Cool. I like my drums to be pretty loud. That's how I do it. So let's bring the percussion up. Cool. Breakbeat. And then our effects loop. Cool. We got that there. Awesome. And now I'm going to bring these other instruments in. Now I've got a nice little mix on my drums going. Cool. I'm glad it sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. bring our guitar up as well. We can see we're still a little bit actually on the loud side over here. There's the drums and the guitar, the bass, the EP, all that stuff added in. I'm not going to adjust it right now, but we can hear it sounds pretty good. We can hear everything nice and clearly. All our sounds are sounding pretty good. All the mix sounds pretty good. And we can see the mix is not straight across. Everything is not just as loud as possible. All right. That's very, very important there. We're going to come back and talk about this another time and use these aux channels. I'm just going to turn them down for now, all the way down. You don't need to do that, but I'm just turning them down for now. We're actually going to talk about these aux channels later on in a couple of days here and talk about aux channels in general and sending things over. But these are going to be used for effects, reverbs, and delays, okay? But I'm going to keep them here for now, even though we're not really using them. But if I hit play, should be pretty good. Awesome. Okay, so over here, let's see if there's anything else that we need to do in here. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, so last thing we need to do is go back here to this window here and just see what's going on. It looks like everything's good. So let's go ahead and play it from the top. Things are gonna fade out. Cool, awesome, sounds good. Okay, one thing we can do over here. Why did you wake up, Luna? She must have heard something. One thing we can do over here is we can take these. Let's put a little cut right in here. You don't have to do this part here, but I'm just gonna put a little break here at the end before. Let's see here. These last hits here. I'm just gonna grab this one here and just put in a little cut in here. All of these, I can just highlight all of these here. Not the electric keyboard. Yeah, let's do that one as well. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. So I'm going to do that, and let's hear what that sounds like. Awesome. The only thing I want is like a little bit more of a drum lead in here. So I'm going to go ahead and in here, I'm going to turn it into slip mode, and I'm going to get rid of, let's see here, these ones here. I'm going to get rid of that. Hit delete. I'm going to zoom in on this. And this one here, see there's like a little bit of a pop there at the end. I don't want that pop. I'm just going to put a little fade on it right there like that. Let's listen to it. I'm going to start it from right here. Put it back in grid mode. Awesome. Cool. There we go. Cool. And just in time because the dog is now freaking out on us. So last thing, to turn this in, what you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot of this. You can use Command-Shift-3 on the Mac, or I use Command-Shift-3 takes a shot of your whole screen. I actually prefer Command-Shift-4, and then you take a screenshot of just part of the screen. So see Command-Shift-4, and I can just grab part of the screen because I don't need the whole screen. I just want to see this stuff here. I do this. Let's also do my mix window here. So Command-Shift-4, going to grab it, show the mix window here. I want to see this master fader that you've got here. I just want to be able to check and see that you've got all the tracks and they're all correct. Luna, chill. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here to our Safari. I'm going to go start assignment. It's going to say upload a file. Upload the file. Choose the file here. Go to my desktop. And I'm going to just submit these. I'm going to just click on that one. And I'm going to add another file here. Upload file. choose the file, add another file there, boom. Luna, come here. Come here, Bubs. Come here, Bubs, where are you? You're over there by the door, come here. Hey, Bubs. She is fascinated by something that's happening outside. I do not know whatever that is that's happening outside. And then I can hit submit assignment. Now, if you've submitted an assignment, you can go new attempt, and it's going to actually keep the files that are here. You can click on these files over here and see what it is. It's saying I'm going to ignore that. I'm not going to leave the page. But I can upload a new file. It's actually going to keep these files here as well. So I'm going to see all your submissions. Okay, probably a squirrel. Okay, you can also use Dropbox and Google Drive to link things in. I actually use Dropbox all the time. I don't really use Google Drive. I use Dropbox. I love Dropbox. But there you go. And then what will happen is I will see. Yes, I'm going to leave the page. I will see that you submitted something. It says 0 of 1 submissions graded. I'm going to go over here to Speed Grader. And it's going to show me your submission. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to say, cool, that looks good. I've graded this one 1,000,000 times. I know what it looks like. I'm going to go over here to this one. I'm going to say, cool, they did a mix. The master fader has stereo. That's really important for me, is that master fader is stereo. And there you go. And that's what's up. I'm not going to listen to it. Honestly, I don't care what it sounds like at this point. Right now, what's important is that you are learning how to use Pro Tools. Cool. Let me go ahead and stop this recording. That dog is flipping out.